warned open meeting of the Dover Free Library trustees. So it's going to be, our meeting tonight has to be recorded due to open meeting laws. So Richard, who is the chair of our trustee board, is going to call the meeting to order.
So 6:12 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order. We have most of the board missing Laura, and we have everyone here for the strategic meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming tonight. I know it's wicked cold outside and it's dark, and meetings are so much fun. Our agenda tonight is, first we're gonna do a little, and the three of us are gonna do a little presentation about how the library works, the strategic planning process, the library services that we do, the results from our first meeting, and our hopes for this meeting. And then we're gonna have some dinner, and it's been catered tonight by the Eastover General Store. And then after that, we're going to do some breakout groups, reporting, and then we'll close the meeting. I know you all know my wonderful co-members of staff, Kendra and Alice, but here they are. for anybody who doesn't know.
Nope, we're standing here.
Okay, all right.
Whether Alice wants to or not.
This is our second meeting, and one of the things that we were asked a lot about is, why are we doing this? After our first meeting, we were asked, why are we even doing this? Is it too bright?
No, I just need the glare.
Oh, okay.
That, I think you can turn that light off and leave the chandeliers on. No, you can leave the chandelier. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Did you feel like you were?
Yeah, now I light spot.
So we are doing this whole process. We're having all of these meetings because we're writing a new strategic plan for the library. And generally, libraries create strategic plans for 5 years apiece. We are just about at the end of our old strategic plan. Unfortunately, COVID happened during the last strategic plan, so it really knocked a lot of things off course. So we're hoping that with all of you, with our trustees, with our strategic planning board, we, the three of us, can create a direction for the library. We have found that we are really growing as a library, and one of the things about strategic planning is it helps focus that growth and helps us create a path for how we really want the library to look for the next 5 years and how we would like that growth to occur. The process. So our first meeting happened in November. And for those of you who are here, thank you very much for attending. And those of you who are new, thank you for coming tonight. Our first meeting was facilitated by volunteers. Our lovely Tracy Bartlett was here, Mike Porter was here, and so some people had questions about why we had them facilitate the first meeting. And really, the reason we have them facilitate that meeting is because we don't want to hold anybody's opinion back by being here. So if you come in here and you say, well, I need you to know that we really hate the library and the library does all of these things wrong, we want to hear that, right? Like, that is in our best interest to know what people don't like about the library as much as it's in our best interest to know what people like about the library. So by us being taken out of the situation, we were really hoping we would get as much information as we could that was truthful and honest. So the other part of that process is that when we do that meeting, we don't focus on library specifics. And we do that because we want to know what the larger Dover community feels like are pressing issues in the community. And we want to know that because we know what we think are are things that we want the library to do, right? Like we all, we have our little pet projects and we have goals for the library. But we, in focusing on those, can lose track of the larger picture. So if you think that, some of the things that we identified at the last meeting, which I'll talk about more, if you think that that's an issue, we can focus on that by finding out about it. So this is the second community meeting, and we're holding it with the library staff and trustees, and this meeting is going to be a lot more specific about the library and the library issues. We're also trying to take some of the problems that were identified at the last meeting and bring them back into this meeting too, and try to work on ways that we feel like the library can use our services to help with some of those larger issues. And then after this meeting, we take all the information that we have accumulated from these 2 meetings, plus the work that we are doing behind the scenes with the strategic planning committee, and we compile all of those results. And we use those results to create a set of strategic opportunities. So these are really large, overarching goals. And from that, we then say, okay, to achieve these large, overarching goals, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And to accomplish X, Y, and Z objectives, then we're going to have smaller goals that we can really work on a day-to-day basis. And those are things like, we're going to get more audiobooks, for example, and that would be one of the goals. And we check those off over the years. We go back as the years go on and look at the strategic plan and kind of report back, how are we doing? Are we achieving our goals? And hopefully in 5 years we can say we did everything we wanted to do, or in 5 years we come back and say, things really changed. We had a global pandemic in the middle of this thing, and we needed to change the way we worked it. So it'll be interesting to see where 5 years leads us. So at our first meeting, participants discussed the way that Dover is growing and changing. And the format of this meeting was intentional, as I said, so that we knew about some larger issues in the community. And now tonight, we're going back to look at the opportunities that the library has to serve the community. So some of the outcomes from the first community meeting were the things that people were concerned about in the community were jobs, housing, childcare, schools, and our aging population. There were some feelings of disconnection with some of our older residents. The schools are obviously very important, as smaller schools in communities are in jeopardy right now. We have a distinct lack of childcare in the area, and housing is very expensive and jobs are hard to find. So today, our goals for this meeting, we're going to be looking at 5 specific areas of library service. And I'll talk more about them later on. But while we do that, we're going to be keeping in mind the community concerns that were brought up at the first meeting. So we're really bringing the focus of the community back to the library and how the library can help address the issues. So I talked a little bit about our strategic planning committee, but I wanted to recognize the people who have been so instrumental in getting this all together. Tracy, Mike, Ellis and Kendra, and then our 2 trustee members, Kathy Sacosio and Diane Gumanak, have been on our board. They are 2 of our trustees. We have 2 other trustees in the room, Richard Payan, who is the chair of our trustees, and Roger Cardinal, who's in the back there. Unfortunately, Laura Matoro couldn't be here tonight. So, moving on a little bit to the library. when we started this process, we started with our strategic planning committee meeting, and also the three of us as library staff met. We, as staff of the library, we set some values in place that we thought that the library should run on. And it's not just how we interact with our community, but also how we interact with each other. We identified 4 values that we want to put forth in everything that we do and bring. The first one is that we want to be supportive. We want to be empathetic and encouraging and support our community. The second is we strive to be welcoming. We embrace our role as a community anchor by providing a diverse and accessible environment. We want to be ever evolving, to adapt to the changing needs of the community, and we know everybody is lifelong learners. And then we also strive for connection to ensure access to information, access to programming, access to materials and technologies for all community members, and also connection to each other too. So, what does the library do? So some of it is pretty obvious. So we have 3 main different areas that the library focuses on. The first is collections, and that's pretty obvious. I think that's what everybody thinks of when they think of a library. The books, the movies, the audiobooks, magazines, newspapers, library of things. You can borrow some snowshoes right now, or in the spring you can borrow a shovel. But then we also have the ones that you don't see. We have collections of digital resources like ebooks and audiobooks and learning. There's classes to teach you how to do sign language. There's classes to teach you how to do different crafts. You can watch videos about how to fix your car. There's all different sorts of collections that are behind the scenes. So then the second main area are programs. And I know they're very small up there. I was trying to put as many as I could into that little box as I possibly could. Some of our reoccurring programs are our Library Explorers program, which is for preschoolers. Kendra just started My First Book Club, which is for our early readers. We have at least 3 different book clubs that meet pretty regularly. We have yarn lovers, when people can come and knit or do any sort of craft together. We also have an open craft night too, which happens monthly. We play Mahjong every Thursday. If you haven't come, it's really fun. And we offer a Scrabble tournament every Monday. We have a walking club every Wednesday. Yoga is happening Monday and Fridays now, and it's free. And line dancing is starting back up in February, which we're very excited about. So the services we have are some of the things that are pretty obvious: free Wi-Fi, public access computers. You can use the community room, you can borrow it. We have printing and scanning services. We have technology assistance. If you don't know how to do something on your computer or your phone, come on in and we'll teach you how to do it. We also opened this fall with definitely Kendra and Ellis were the main people. Ellis was the main person behind it. So we now have free food for our community members. We have online training classes, like I said. We also have interlibrary loan, which I don't think a lot of people think about as a service, but I think it's one of the greatest services that we can provide. And I'm going to talk more about that in 1 second. So this is our interlibrary loan rates for the last 5 years. So one thing I'm very proud of is when you see this, the purple bar is the ones that we borrow from other libraries for our patrons. And the blue bar is the bar that we send out. So We have a computer program, and every day we get requests from other libraries, and we can, we send out our requests to. So I think when people think like, oh, you're sending your books to other libraries, doesn't that mean you won't have the books here for us to use? But to me, that says that you have such a great collection that other libraries really want the books that you have. So I'm very proud that our rate of sending out has gone up so high. Of course, our rate of borrowing has skyrocketed as well over the last 2 years. We joined in fall of 2023, we joined a courier service which made it affordable for us, because prior to that we were mailing all of those books back and forth, which at $4 a book now it adds up. But it also, providing this service, which does take a fair amount of our time and effort, allows us to expand our collection. So even though we're in this building and the building is only so big, we have access to anything in the state that anybody has. And we also do out-of-state borrowing. So the library, the Brooklyn Library, we get a lot of books from there, a lot from Boston, Oklahoma, Missouri. We get things from all over the country. It's pretty awesome. So programming has also been very exciting and has grown an awful lot. So in 2025, we offered 357 programs. It's almost a program a day. And we're only open 6 days a week. So that's more programs than days we were open. We offered 223 adult programs, 29 all ages programs. That's things like the dessert social, 87 kids programs, and we attended 14 outreach events. So that's a program that somebody else is putting on that we go to. For example, we do trunk or treat at Dover School on Halloween. We go to the wellness fair in Wilmington every year. So that means that at all of these events, we saw 2,641 people last year, which I think is pretty good because that's way more than the population of Dover. I did change it after I titled it, and I did include 2023 as well. So we're excited about all of the great amounts of programs we've been able to put on. Another way we've grown is our circulation. So we changed catalogs at the end of 2023. So our new catalog can do all sorts of fancy statistics and numbers and everything for us. But unfortunately, we don't have those numbers for 2023. So we know how many books we circulated in 2023, but not the breakdown of kids' books versus adult books. And we can break this down a lot more finite if we wanted to. So we are very excited that in 2025, we circulated over 11,000 books. And that's just physical materials. That doesn't include ebooks and e-audio books and all of that fun stuff. So something else that our catalog gives us is this number, our return on investment number. And so every time you check out a book in the library, the computer pops up a little thing and says, like, today you saved $25 by checking a book out at the library. And at the end of the year, we compile all of that, and our patrons saved $154,000 last year by checking items out of the library. So I'm really excited about that. That's a lot more than any individual person gives to the library in taxes. So that's a bonus for me. So I wanted to move briefly into a little overview of the Dover community, just as something to have in your mind while we are doing the breakout groups later on. So this is according to the 2020 census, all of these numbers. So the population of Dover is about 1,800 people. I know that fluctuates a whole lot. 2020 was a weird year. So, is it the same? Probably not anymore, but that's what it was then. The median income in Dover is $52,000. Our families, they do families, AKA households. So their total households were 633. I know that's really hard to see. 6,033, or 633, my goodness. There are over 3,000 housing units in the town. So that means you have 2/3 of that are either second homeowners or like Airbnbs. Education. Dover School is an excellent school. It's a very highly rated school. It has 76 kids enrolled between pre-K 4 and 6th grade. Some of the choices for school choice for high school and middle school are Brattleboro, Burton, we have Twin Valley, and Leland and Gray. That's something that is very attractive to people who want to come and live here. And 43.6% of our residents have a bachelor's degree or higher. So I'm going to get into some numbers, really into some numbers here. So our employment rate in Dover is 62%. The past decade, the median age has averaged out to 49 years over the 10 years. The age dependency ratio is a number that compares the number of dependents versus the number of people who work. Dependents are not people, the way they average it out is not people who receive disability or something like that. It's just purely done by age. So dependents are people over 65 or under 15. So in the last, since 2019, it's been above 77%. There have been some years where it's been 100%. So this is an indicator that the federal government uses to indicate that a community might need more social service support or indicates potential economic stress. So that's something to remember, that you have basically half a population working and half a population that is unable to work or, and the UN predicts that this number will grow over the entire U.S. In the next 100 years. It's only going to get higher, so it's not a problem that's going to solve itself. So with all of that fun stuff on that great optimistic note, I could get a lot more into it because there is more to dig into that number, but I'm going to say let's have some dinner. And then we'll take like 20 minutes for dinner, and then we'll come and meet up in breakout groups.
The general store would like you to know that even if you don't think there's a toothpick in your sandwich, there is a toothpick in every sandwich. So if you don't think there's a toothpick, be extra careful. It doesn't sneak up on you. I'm in charge of the important announcements.
And we was over here the whole time. I didn't want to interrupt you. Can we pause the recording during dinner?
Okay.
I have to hit resume on the recording because it's 7:13 and we're back on. So we're going to do 5 breakout groups, and each of one of them is going to be facilitated by library staff or trustees. We're going to do 2 sessions of breakout groups, each one for about 15 minutes. So the 5 groups are communications, physical space, library collections, programming, and library services. So we ask that you do one, and then for the next session you move on to a different one that you didn't do the first go around. And I know it's a small group, so if we need to combine some groups, we can. So Roger and I will be doing library services at the back table there. Diane will be doing communications at this front table. Richard is doing physical space at that table over there. Kathy and Ellis will be leading library collections in the back. And Kendra will be doing programming, the table by the cheerleader. So I'm going to put this next slide up while we're breaking out, while we're discussing, as kind of something to keep in the back of your head while you're discussing the questions that each group is going to talk about. If you can, if you think about how programming in the library can be applied to jobs, housing, childcare, schools, or aging population, that's a bonus. You get extra gold stars for that one. Okay, so I'm going to start the timer, and feel free to mingle and go about. Yes, ma'am.
Are we supposed to be
Oh,
writing things down?
Yes, I'm sorry. So there's paper on the walls. We can pull the paper down and put it on the tables too. We just kind of put it on the walls for fun. I made Richard do it for fun. So you can pull it down and just any ideas you have, any thoughts. At the end of the 2 breakout sessions, we are going to come back in and report to the group and discuss with the group. So might be helpful to write more notes.
Well, then you all have to fight me for this.
All right.
I'm not above it. You guys don't know each other? I threw them out for scratch paper.
Navigate the aisles, building out the building. Overall. It's at least 3 months before.
There used to be taller ones.
So yours is size.
Yes, I remember the old chicks.
It's like navigating the aisles, looking, they feel tight, they feel too wide. all of you are experienced library goers, you've seen how organizations have shifted over
Yeah,
time.
I think, mentioned the high top tables, that was not as easy for the children who use the home. So much these spots or for that, so it's much easier now that they can access it. Our kids definitely don't.
It'll pay for the.
They feel, There was one day that the library closed and the power was out, it was the day that I took a shower when I got home, I had power. They had no power, no library. And then the kids were obviously getting so not the first floor. So I and that's where the place to rector. And so I wasn't going to use her eyes. I mean, crying, screaming, she needed to go to the library. And the owner of Flatbed was like, the library? Kids are this upset, we're not going to go to the library? And I'm like, yeah, that's
It's terrible as you said, but we love to hear that they care that much about it.
I'm not.
Yeah, we're often the only ones there. I feel on Saturdays when they're closed.
It's a very small group that goes on Saturdays.
Saturdays, we're quiet, so we'll go, you know, we'll build a puzzle, we'll play a game, we'll check out some books.
Yeah, especially if it's DC.
We closed at 2, and we're like, oh, no, I closed.
There was some changes that
I wonder if as many people.
somebody has mentioned last time used to be in front of the desk when you walked in. A lot of people, some people have been like very happy with that stuff. I've heard it feels welcoming now.
Yeah,
Separating
and
it.
I'm sure it was up to COVID.
Exactly.
Yeah, and yeah.
Right, well, that's why I'm thinking of what's necessary.
Yeah.
Not definitely. I think Ellis
Yeah.
I think Ellis
Yeah, he looks at his mask. What ways do you think library space could be improved? This is probably the most important thing.
I'll still speak again.
So that is that sign somewhere above like the one room entrance, so that's where like the library things.
Needs to be more obvious.
Yeah, I feel like I've never, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't know about the library manuals, and most of the things are in there. And so I've had people, and they also get some supplies, and they have, and most people are there, I've never seen before. So I think having active something. Yeah, I know kids, I mean, it's nice because on the back counter of the library, it's like a lot of craft and for the library, they have a library market. I will send all of you my flyer. Oh, that would be great, yeah, as long as
Still in the process, there's a lot of, playgrounds that you have to be here.
I think overall, I love that the children's area is separate from. That's like what we have. Lots of separate rooms. There's so many small libraries that don't have that. And we write down anything like her mentioned it, but training hacks, about having a cafe, coffee, sometimes and and obviously having the digital thing. I mean, it's mostly not there, so I guess, but I don't know, the kids can read. Yeah, but there are like, doctors at Austin, and things like that.
Yeah, so like that food pantry, that's great. Give feedback, using our space, so they'll give back to the community. Yes, don't know about the issue, I know what
And I mean, I have seen it too, where there's like curtains on the side of the cafe table, grab that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we got tomatoes, onions, and some others. They're definitely controversial. Last time, thank you. It's really Allison who makes it easy, but we're such a great library.
I feel like all of the staff and the trustees.
Oh, yeah. Just come by anytime.
Right, but it's like the only, I think that we talked to my dad. Yeah. No, never had him. I'm like, what? Dad. Oh, it's not here. I think he did go once. When I was there for a meeting, and we did it, that was the one time I could remember. Yeah, like, and all that just because she preferred. She's like, I'm in that. Like, we're too. Yeah. Mine too. Listen to books. I mean, he has choices. Yeah, it's not the two of us. And then what do we do?
Okay, everybody, that's time for the first breakout session. So if we can move along to another group. I'm gonna go to programs, because that's next
I'm
big
gonna
batch.
go to wherever doesn't have many people. That's my strategy.
They're still going.
It's like speed dating.
There's coffee, you know, for the next round. Feel free. Sugar. No, what is your oh,
She's like a professional.
library services and facilities.
Just waiting to see if
I should mention children as well. That, I don't know if that's. But my first, at first, my child was very hesitant, did not want to participate. And then I did forget to tell you that yesterday, she saw the paper still hanging on the door and was like, I really love book club. I can't wait to go back. And I was. It's not like they all
Not too much, but it's enough. So they can.
You found the library space easily accessible, so if you like, need something within the library, there's many things. Overall, this little building.
That too.
Yes, I think the view going forward is to have it.
Even some funny offers, but things like, he walked me through the 529. He can't touch, he can't touch financial aid for kids, but he can tell you what to do. So in the state of Vermont, they don't let firefighters touch that money or take part in any of that. So he was like, I can educate you on how to set it up. Right. It's not on it's not on him, but so it's like that.
You can't see where the ice is.
But I like that idea because I feel like
Has it made it easier? Is it better?
Yeah. And there's a lot of people even in the town who wouldn't know we're offering. You're like, oh, interesting. Good to know you were all right. I did forget to
This is for the year finale.
Oh,
Just that, there's so many articles of what they're doing. Just in there. So.
Okay, but it's okay. So I was writing, yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. And I mean, just use for all the library signs and things like that.
So it's like they have certain.
In what ways do you think the library
Not
space could be improved?
But,
You know, so we're also trying to follow like how many stories can you do? Barely ever have topics really just.
Is there like where like the little chairs are like the area and all other chairs like small.
Yeah, yeah, 2 is pretty limited.
Yes. It's like running a rodeo. Well, I'm just thinking like, kids.
Yeah, so that space is just for the staff.
Just like, sign me up.
Yeah, so I don't even think
In the staff room.
like you were saying, important to do, you know.
Pretty tight. That would make, that's a good idea. Maybe having a table at yeah, there's documents that keep a lot of stuff in the keep it there, or sometimes it's later in the week, rather than
when they came to me, they already knew they were
they're locked up.
because they had that, and I was sure, like, you know,
There's a small budget, like, you know, we have a budget this summer for the teams, maybe part of that would be for participation for helping out with the, social media.
Square footage is.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like it's like.
I don't think
Average home price. Getting in the hand. Yeah, that's out there. Charcoal cashiers over there.
It's very, is that the one where they were going out to drink beer? Oh, no,
You mostly go to one of the two. Sometimes I like to go to the like, make a big team. Not have to pay all that percentage extra. You ever have
One more minute, everybody. Please finish up. One more minute. I think that there was that.
Chance to read it.
I was wrong. It was Joe Boyd. It was the giver of stars. But it was also Appalachian communities. That's service. In the 1930s. I think
I'm not worried about something flipping off.
oh, yes. Me before you. Yeah. Yes. But it reminds me of it. I mean, you might not be in a sport. So when he was where he shot at the time, I was, you know, might not be there very quickly. That would be better. Yeah. This time we're going to use a snowmobile and then almost four-wheeler. All right, I'm gonna. Last night, I was like, where did this come from? And I was like, oh, look, it was over in my library. It's over my
If I can just if I can just interrupt for 1 second, it's 8:01, so we are officially behind our 8 o'clock cutoff. So if you would like to stay and continue talking, you are more than welcome to. I don't think we're going to do the sharing out portion unless, do people have some like excellent ideas they want to yell out? Maybe if you'd like to stay for 5 minutes and yell out ideas, we can do that.
Programming has fantastic ideas. Okay.
So Kendra, do you want to yell some stuff out that programming came up with?
Yeah, so some of the passions that were brainstormed were history programs, ongoing education programs, ASL or foreign language practice groups, author visits, writing workshops, and then with the idea of our 5 specifically, things like financial education or education on how to become a homeowner, knowledge sharing from different careers. So there's so many people in the area with lots of expertise, so just knowledge sharing. And then specifically with the aging population in mind, programs about estate planning, advanced directives and living wills type of things. Specifically hoping that we could collaborate more with like Petty and Wardsboro so that that vital information could be shared more widely. So those are some of our passion ideas. I guess kind of also under passion was maybe offering book delivery for patrons who can't get to the library, which might be a volunteer opportunity for someone. And then a lot of talk about different ways to get resources about mental health and substance abuse and supporting parents and digital safety for all ages, but specifically children, were different ideas that we had some people possibly interested in presenting about.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're super productive. Where's my gold star?
So we were over in library services, and we also came up with some programming ideas over there because we're stepping on your toes left and right.
Now we're gonna have to have a dance back.
We talked about doing some like services, like helping people learn how to do their taxes.
Hey, that's our stuff too.
We wrote stuff that about advertising ideas too. We were all over the place. But we talked about like all of those things that kids used to learn in school that they don't learn anymore. And we also talked about the idea of the human lending library where you can borrow a person to ask them questions about something or learn about their life. So.
Pick your brain speed dating. We spoke about a lot of things. Definitely something that I brought up in the last meeting, which is I think the library could benefit from kind of like a multifaceted marketing approach. So not just specifically using emails as like the main form of communication. I think reaching multiple generations. I think that we should be doing a handful of things. So, you know, increasing or evolving the social media presence. Had a great conversation with Alice on some ideas on how to elevate and enhance that. So, and I also spoke with Alice. I'm more than happy. I would love to volunteer my time in helping with kind of like a high-level
You're in.
strategy. I'll spend my money.
All in favor?
But definitely working on some sort of marketing strategy to just reach different generations.
I love that.
And demographics. And we also spoke about a handful of other things, but one thing that I kept bringing up was about jobs, which I know across generations, it is difficult within this community, and it's hard for the younger generation to stay. We brought up not just a job fair, but possibly hosting like an opportunity fair. And I don't know what we were talking about, we don't know what like the legal repercussions could be, or like what the library could do for like liability reasons if we're hosting something like that. But I think it would be a really unique opportunity for, it doesn't just have to be a local business. It could be, you know, a stay-at-home mom who needs a mother's helper for a few hours a week. And it's, you know, a 12, 13, 14-year-old who's looking to just start making money. Someone who, you know, could mow lawns or something. But I think,
We talked about something very similar over there too.
perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, we spoke about a lot, and I'm happy to.
Very excited. Do you have anything you want to yell out about?
We are doing good. We also had ideas about a similar kind of thing where like a library of services type thing, where we have employment resources or like we could have housing resources and just like a kind of like a bulletin board of just like places you can find the things that you need.
I love that.
Um,
That was I love how they all seem to tie back into each other, even though they're all so separate. Richard, do you have anything you want to yell about?
Yeah, so physical space, I think the main underlying feedback was we were doing great with the space we have at the time.
We need to do a hostile takeover of kids in the country.
So some idea was 2 stories.
Yes.
Go up. I love that. You definitely want to move up. More seating near the leather chairs, so it's more comfortable kind of meeting area around there. That was some good feedback. Shouting out the library of things more in the main library space so that people know that it's in the community room. Because a lot of times, you know, people might not know that it's back there. So by putting some sort of signs or something around so that people know, hey, library of things in the community room. Come check out what we have for you to borrow. One thing that was mentioned was possible, like maybe using some of the space where the staff area is, if we can convert that into a space where other people can work, use that as a workspace, or creating some sort of area where people can take meetings and do calls and just work from the library.
Great.
Yeah.
I think hostile takeover is probably our best bet.
Did anyone talk about like the hallway, the entryway, like that was something that was on the old strategic plan that didn't happen for several reasons. One,
Yes, so I
COVID too,
asked
because
people
the
about
town-
like, you know, as far as like getting into the building, how do you think it's accessible, overall, everyone's like, it's fine, nobody seemed to have issues with it. There was one person that mentioned that it is sometimes slippery, so maybe more salt, getting more lights out in the parking lot for visibility. Yeah, there were some things that were mentioned for a little bit of improvement, but overall, people are happy with what we're doing with the space we have.
All right, well, thank you all so very, very, very much for coming tonight and being a part of this. Thank you. We applaud you. And pretty soon we'll have a strategic plan to report back. Do you want to end the meeting?
Yeah. Who wants to make the motion now? Robert makes the motion, we have a second. Kathy seconds, all in favor?
I'm not a voting member. 8:10 p.m.
I was